Yeah, I could do that. Okay. Rich, how are you? Nah, you said that, but that did not match your energy, ma'am. So what you got going on? You said I'm okay, but it's what you didn't say. I heard it. Trish, Trish, honey, you overthinking it. You're overthinking it. Relax your mind. You need to let go of your fears. You just said you said something to the effect of you're not getting it, or you think you're not getting it. You don't want to miss it. What was the last word? Because you was talking, the spirit was talking at the same time. What's your fear? What is your fear? Let that go. That's what's blocking you. Right there. That statement you just made. Let that go. That's a block. That's a limiting belief. Let that go. And to let that go, start affirming. Affirming that you're going to achieve everything that you came here. You're going to do everything that you came here to do. You're going to be exactly who you came here to be. Affirm it until you know it. You need to know that. So you've reached the leg of the journey where you're going to have to let go of those limiting beliefs. That's a limiting belief. You're going to have to let that go. Is there any other fear? Let that go. You cannot mess this up. You can't. Some of these beliefs that you have, you need to ask yourself, where are you getting that from? Where did that come from? Where did those thoughts come from? Oh, you sound like you're in shadow work. You sound like you're in your shadow work. Yes. Okay, you're in your shadow work. So you're feeling the loneliness. That's a part of the shadow work. So that makes sense because the first thing I went into, what is your fears? So I kind of knew, okay, she's in her shadow work. Because I literally could feel the shadow over you. But you need to find a way to embrace the shadow because you got to do the journey. That's where the real magic is. And I know it's hard because of what we have been told, but you're not alone. I know you may feel like you're alone, but you're not really. Well, okay, let me say this. No, I'm not going to say that. That's not, um, that's where you are in your journey. I shouldn't say that because it's not. The key is to make this simple for you. So when you're in the shadow work, it does feel lonely. And you feeling lonely because nobody can help you in the shadow work. It's all you. Besides you and source, God, if that's what you believe in. And that's the part you're gonna have to, like, what is your belief? Do you have a God concept? Okay, so I need you to connect with that. But in your shadow work, it's kind of hard, um, because it seems like spirit. It seems like God is not there. It seems like because you're in the shadows, so that light is not really going to be there because you need to. I'm trying to find the right word. I don't want to say glide, but you're going to have to work out this shadow work. You're going to have to embark upon the journey. And I think, so you're feeling stuck. It just, in the shadows, it feels like you're stuck. And we starting with the mindset, those two things that, like, I can feel those two things holding you back. And letting that concept go. And then allowing yourself to see things about yourself without attaching to what you see about yourself. Because I'm picking up this shadow work that you're about to do is generational. And it's tied to the women. It's tied back to your mother and the women in your family. And so allow yourself to reflect. Where are the women in your family? What are they doing? How do they feel? Or have they done their journey? Are you the first one to do this journey? Okay. So I want you to do an evaluation and look at what your mother went through. Your grandmother, if you have that, or she's around, if she was around, your aunts. You're going to have to go back in order to move forward. And seeing things about your mother that you yourself have experienced, because you came here to break a generational curse. Patterns, habits, behaviors that have kept the women in your family from not stepping into their full potential. You came into this lifetime to step into your full potential. And it's 222. 22.2 loves on this. That's a confirmation for me. So now it's like, what have you experienced that you need to let go of? What are you holding on to that is of the past? But I feel like this is where you have to do your own investigation. It's like your spirit guys, whatever your mission is, because they're not showing me, and it's too far off because you're in the shadow work. So it would make sense for me to not see certain things because they want you to focus on letting go of the things that's keeping you stuck. It's your thoughts. Now, but here's the thing. How can you shine the light while you're in the shadow? So it's like you're going to have to find the positive to transmute the negative. Like we said, the first thing I said, you're going to have to let go of those thoughts. Now you're going to have to replace it. But what are you going to replace it with? So it's your thoughts. More than anything, it's your thoughts. So now start taking, every time a negative thought comes, you need to affirm something positive. And watch, you're going to float up. It's like you're going to float up out of the shadows. I know this part may seem really hard, but the way that I'm seeing it, you're not tied down. You just need to get out your own way. Because I'm seeing it. It's like there's nothing underneath you. There's nothing above you. But it's like I feel the weight within you. So that's how I know it's within you. Because I'm seeing it. You're floating, but it's your weight that's keeping you stagnant. Which means in your weight, when you think about your weight, a lot of times your weight is mentally and emotionally. What is your heart space like? I know you said lonely, but are there any other emotions that's weighing you down? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, baby. Okay, you at the leg of the journey. Self love. All that what you're wanting, you can't get it from other people to you because it's you got to give it to yourself first. You got to give it to yourself, and as you give it to yourself, as within, so without, you're going to start receiving it. So now, start loving yourself. Everything else you can put aside. Well, besides what you need to do for your son, and you're going to even realize your love for your son is going to change. It's going to change as you love yourself. So start with, when was the last time you told yourself I love you? Okay. Okay, so I need you to start. That's a starting point. Looking in the mirror and saying I love you. And if that's too hard to do, I know people that say they struggle with looking in the mirror and saying that they love you. Then wherever you're sitting on your couch, I need you to feel, not only just say it, I need you to feel the love for yourself. Feel that. And you're going to see if your heart is really open. Because doing that exercise, a lot of times it blows people's mind that they can't even feel the love for themselves that they feel for other people. So you're wanting something that you already are. You are love, honey. But the only way to know that is to start that self-love journey. And that starts in the shadows too. It's like, what is blocking you from feeling the love for yourself? Is there any guilt? Is there any shame? Are you constantly beating yourself up? Did you grow up around people that belittled you, that shrunk you, that made you, have you been shrinking yourself? We do a lot of things unconsciously. But when we're in the shadows, start asking yourself, how did I get to where I am? Am I happy? And if you're not happy, what changes do I need to make within myself? Because it starts with self first. Why aren't you gloating? Why aren't you feeling your best self? But that's because you're at the leg of the journey now where it's time for you to go a little bit deeper within yourself. And the shadow work will do it. It's like highlighting all that unconscious talk that goes on with yourself. But this is the time to start loving on yourself. And I heard you say you was in a relationship, right? Okay, y'all live together? Okay, so you're gonna have to find a way to be honest with him too about how you truly feel. And expressing that you're working on yourself. Because I'm sure you may be forcing yourself to be something to him that you really don't want to be. Because you how can you be something to him? You trying to figure yourself out. You going through the motions. You really not in a space to be what he needs you to be. And so you can be honest with that with no fear. Don't worry about, but that's the shadow work. Shadow work too requires you to be honest and letting him know what you can't give him. I did it with my own husband. I'm like, at this moment right now, I don't have the capacity. I don't have the space to be your wife. Like, I'm trying to figure me out. And there was a fear there because I wasn't working. He was the provider, but it shocked me because he was like, do whatever you need to do to find yourself. Now, I don't know if you're going to get that same support, but you have to be, you can't give something or try to give something that you don't have to give. Like you don't even have. It's like your cup is empty. What you pouring from? So you're going to have to be honest with yourself and honest with where you are. Because that honesty is going to open the door for you. And you have to first be honest with yourself. So be honest with yourself first. And then let yourself be guided with the relationship. I'm not saying walk away from it. It's just that because you could be in a relationship with the understanding, like I'm here, but don't expect the best from me because I'm not at my best. I'm lost. I'm trying to figure. I don't even know who the hell I am right now. Okay. Well, you gotta be honest. So just say that to yourself and accept that as a truth. And whatever fears show up, I need you to let those fears go. Because it may feel like you by yourself, but baby, you would be amazed how spirit will come through for you, okay? It starts with you being honest with yourself. Start with that and accepting that. You ain't got to share that until you're guided. Because spirit will show you a way out. But it's all about you being honest with yourself and understanding that this is your truth and standing in it. And then when you're guided to share it, don't be afraid to tell him. And then whatever happens, you this is where because what you're gonna do is set the intent. Now you're gonna have to get into an intent of if he's not, even if he doesn't be receptive of it, spirit still got you. God still got you. And that's what matters. And then who's to say he may you may say that, but you don't know how God would touch him and it works itself out. We always think of the worst, and a lot of times it don't even pan out that way. So just start with right now with being honest with yourself and allowing yourself to feel I don't want this anymore. And then asking God for direction. If it's time for me to go, then get into a knowing that you're going to know what to do when it's time for you to do whatever it is that you need to do. So, because when you're in the dark, when you're doing shadow work, you got to find a way to stay positive. It may not be easy, but it's okay. You got to understand it's like that's when you're stepping into your power. Trish, you're taking your power back, honey. And taking your power back is never easy. And it's going to offend people. And people going to feel some kind of way because they're not able to use you anymore. They're not able to ride your energy. They're not able to ride your essence or your presence. But you've also, too, it's almost like understanding that when you're not consciously making these decisions based upon what is best for you, then you keep putting yourself on the back burner. And you're at the leg of the journey where you can't do that anymore. So this is probably going to be your new beginning. It's going to come with some endings. But you are able and capable. And don't look at what you don't have, okay? Don't look at what you don't have. Because when it's time for you to do, baby, things will come. That's where the magic happens, or miracles that people call miracles. Just stand on what is true for you. And when it comes to you, your talk for yourself needs to be positive. You may not always feel positive because you're in the dark night of the soul, okay? But your self-talk, it needs to be positive. Find a way to get into your knowing that all of this is going to work out for your good. It is. It's literally working out. You're on this live. You're talking to me. So for me, that's a surety that things are shifting for you. You need to trust that. You need to trust that things are shifting for you. But you have to that's the first step, is being honest with yourself and not being afraid of truly processing this relationship, this is not what you want. This is not what you want right now. And it's okay. Without attaching to the fear of what comes with that. Because I think you said it's just you, right? It's just you, your son, and him. So if you leave him, it's just going to be you and your son. Okay, so be okay with that. Okay. Now, before you go, is there anything that you're not clear about? Yeah, absolutely. He hasn't gone through his awakening just yet. No, he will. He will. He will. He will. It's just not his time. He will. But that's where you got to know because he is your child's father, he's going to get it. You have more power. Y'all, as divine feminine, we have more power. I get it. We have been suppressed and we've been literally wiped out, but we're rising up. And listen, because that is your child's father, he's going to get it. I'm picking up on his energy. He's not a bad person. He may have gone through some stuff in his life and the things that's being pushed upon him, the pressure, but I'm picking up he's not a bad person. He just have gone through some shit. I'm just gonna say it like that. That most men experience and they don't talk about. They suffer in silence. Men suffer in silence. And they justify the shit that they do because they don't have a clarity because they haven't started the journey. And that's okay. But at this moment it's not about him. It's about you. And you stepping into your purpose and you stepping into your higher self. That's what